Okay, on this video, we're going to talk about how to create an atlas for trying to hit a better color when we are trying to print in a spot color, a flat color. An atlas is a book of squares of variations of different combinations of a single color for trying to reproduce in a better way one flat color. For example, in this file here, we have this pink. This pink is coming from one spot color, and we can look here in the color table, the spot color that is being used for this. This is a Pantone 180. Okay, so for creating an atlas of a Pantone 180, the first thing that we have to do is execute Color Lab software, and here select the Pantone library, in this case Pantone solid coated, and type here the Pantone number 190. And we select this Pantone and load the Pantone as target. Once we have the Pantone as target, we have to hit this button here for creating the atlas. And we have this window here, and we're going to create this atlas initially in LAB because this is the easiest way of creating one atlas. And here we have the value of the Pantone LAB and the distance, so from this point to this point, and the stepping. So we will just define here the size of the sheet in inches or millimeters, the margins of the PDF, if it's a portrait or landscape, and the patch width and height and distance between patches. For example, here I'm creating 1-inch patches. So I'm going to create the atlas, and the atlas will have one page, and this is the number of colors that they have. So I hit in OK. I'm going to save this, for example, in my public folder, and this is the atlas. The atlas, if I look at it, it has different combinations of these pinks from these numbers. And for understanding these numbers, I'm going to create an atlas, for example, from 8500. And I'm going to go in this distance. Let's do it in 80, so the number will be more round. 8000 up to 333. It means that the patches will go from 77 to 83 because 80 plus less 3 go from 77 to 83, and 0 plus less 3 goes from -0 to from -3 to 3. So if I create this atlas and I open it, for example, in the desktop, here I will see that the atlas start going from minus 77, 77 minus 3 minus 3, 77 minus 3 minus 2, 77 minus 3 minus 1, 77 minus 3, 3, 0, 77 minus 3, 1, and so on and so on. And when I have finished with the first variation, then I start with the second, 77 minus 2 minus 2, and go on and go on and go on. So this is one atlas, and this is for what is being used for. So here, what I will do is just load this atlas that I have here in my public folder, and then send to print the atlas. I'm loading it. And when I will be sending to print the atlas, I have to measure on the printed chart and check which of the spot colors is reflecting better the Pantone 190 that I want to hit. And if, for example, is this patch here, this is the 64 51 4 that I check on the measurement, what I have to do is came here and in the color table change this value to the value that it's written below the atlas. So 64 51 4 in this case. Then I hit next, and I have to change from the initial LAB to the LAB that is creating the color that I want. Okay, okay, and that's it. This is the first way of creating one atlas. It's creating one atlas in LAB. There is a different way of creating one atlas. It's more precise. It gives me more control, and it's if I'm creating the atlas in multi-channel. For doing this sample, for example, I'm gonna use this yellow here. This yellow here is not hitting the color that I want, and I'm gonna create an atlas in multi-channel. So the first thing that I have to do is check the prime value of this yellow. And the prime value of this yellow, it's in this case 96% of yellow, 17% of orange. So 96, 17 in yellow, black, and orange. So if I have to create one atlas in multi-channel, instead of creating the atlas in LEV, when I start the atlas is created here in LEV, I can go into manual 6 colors, and I have here the value, and I have to type here the cyan, magenta, yellow, black, orange, violet value that I want. In this case, this was 96, 6, 17. So 96, 6, 17. And here I can turn off the colors that I don't want to iterate. So if I want to include magenta on the iteration, I can include it or not. If not, I will not be changing these values and will be always 0, 0, 0, 0. And here again, I can specify from the value to the value or the distance, and I can put it differently. So here I will be creating this PDF with this spot colors. And this is important. This is the name of the spot channel used for each one of the channels. So if I create this atlas and I create this atlas as, for example, atlas 1, and I'm going to save it on my public folder, and then I load here the atlas 1, I will have here this spot colors, and this spot colors will be replaced in an automatic way using the color replacement table. Here in the table, as you see, I have the Coloring Lab cyan, magenta, yellow, black, orange, and violet that are the names that I am using here for the channels. And these colors, the Coloring Lab cyan is replaced by 100% of cyan because I have on my color replacement table this replacement. So in the queue, I have my color replacement table, and this table that I'm editing here, I can reflect all these changes here, and it's important that I will have this replacement here. If you are using other naming techniques like Jetmaster Cyan, Jetmaster Magenta, you can use these namings. So, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are customers that are using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 as numbers. So if the channels are named as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you create the atlas, this will be atlas 2, save. And if you open here the atlas 2, this will be also replaced because the name of the spot colors that has been used is also in the color replacement table. So here I'm changing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for the color. So the important thing is that the spot color table that I'm loading in the queue will contain the spot colored names. If I'm using a particular thing like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, for example, and I don't want to be all the time typing these numbers, I can go to the settings menu, save atlas settings. And when I do this thing, these channels names are saved. So next time I enter in the atlas, I don't have to type this thing again. So once I send to print this, I will get a color that will be hitting the yellow that I want. And if this color is, for example, I'm gonna open from my public profile, the Atlas 2. If this yellow, for example, is this one here, the 0093818, then what I have to do is on the file, go here and make the replacement on the preview. So here, just type this, I click on this show color information, I hit on here, and here I type the value that it's representing my yellow. So 93,818. 93, 8, 80. And this is the second way of creating one atlas and the second way of making replacements. So you can create the atlas in LAB by measuring a color that you want to hit, and you can use the instrument for measuring the color or pick the LAB from a Pantone library, or you can make the atlas in multi-channel and replace using print values the atlas. That will give you more control and it's more precise, but you need to get the value that you want to make the atlas over.